Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the northeast and northwest corners of the stadium and welcome our candidates for graduation, the class of 2018.
afternoon, Cal Poly. Good afternoon. Yeah, let's hear it for these fantastic students. Welcome to Cal Poly's spring commencement for the College of Liberal Arts and the Orfalea College of Business. My name is Keith Humphrey, and it is my privilege as Cal Poly's Vice President for Student Affairs to preside over today's joyous ceremony. In celebrating our students' achievements, we would like to acknowledge the land we meet and walk upon today carries the heritage and culture of native Chumash people of San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly honors and respects the diverse indigenous peoples connected to this territory and respects the land on which we gather today in celebration. At this time, it is my pleasure to present Cal Poly's Wind Orchestra, led by conductor Christopher Woodruff. Soloist Catherine Curran from the College of Liberal Arts will be singing our national anthem. ROTC cadets of Cal Poly's Military Science will post the colors. Please rise and remain standing if you are able. Gentlemen, please remove your caps until the color guard has exited the field. Please post the colors. Please be seated. We have so many reasons to be Cal Poly proud today. As a university, we are conferring more than 4,800 degrees upon deserving scholars. That's something to shout about. Let's hear about that. Each of our students has worked very hard, and our talented and dedicated faculty and staff have been there every step of the way, encouraging our students. Also with us today are the many parents, family members, friends, brothers, and sisters who had to put up with you when you were in elementary school and acted like you knew everything. Well, today is your day. You can celebrate today because as a Cal Poly graduate, you indeed do know everything. As for tomorrow, let's just say there's a lot more learned by doing in your future. Graduates, from wow to now, we have all invested a great deal in your success. You are expected to enter the world poised to make a difference in your professions through service to your communities. During your time in San Luis Obispo, you have improved this community, and we are confident about the contributions you will make to improve the world around you. You leave us today as Mustangs United under love, empathy, and respect for others. In an effort to respect, honor, and celebrate each and every student's accomplishments, we ask that the entire stadium remain for the duration of the ceremony. Each degree conferred today and each student that walks across the stage, deserves a proud and supportive crowd. At the conclusion of the ceremony, graduates will receive a commemorative gift upon exiting the stadium. A few of you have prepared to serve in the most unselfish way of all. This weekend, we are graduating 11 students who will be commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army. We cannot thank you enough for your willingness to serve our country, and we are indebted to all who have served in the military. And at this time, I ask all active duty servicemen and women and veterans in our audience to please stand or wave your hand and be recognized for your service to our country. Thank you. Joining me on stage this afternoon are members of the Platform Party, led by President Jeffrey D. Armstrong. Honorees, special guests, and individuals invited to address the graduates will be introduced later in the program. Additional members of the Platform Party with us today are Matthew Ewing, Vice President for Development, Cynthia Vizcaino-Villa, Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance, Dawn Theodora, Assistant Vice Chancellor and Chief Counsel for Business and Finance, Kathleen McMahon, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Mary Pedersen, Senior Vice Provost, and Camille O'Brien, Grand Marshal. Will all members of the Platform Party please stand and be recognized at this time? At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Cal Poly Student Body President Riley Nielsen. Yeah, she deserves some applause. It is very rare that someone serves as a student body officer for 2 consecutive years, but Riley Nielsen is not your average Mustang. Hailing from a multi-generational Cal Poly family, Cal Poly pride is part of Riley's DNA. Just mention Cal Poly around her, and her face lights up. Throughout the highs and lows of her year, she has always remained focused on what is best for Cal Poly in both the short and long term. Riley has brought wisdom to decisions on campus issues that far exceed her 23 years, and while she came to Cal Poly to learn, she has also been a great teacher to so many. I can say I have personally learned a great deal from Riley through laughter, tears, disagreement, and celebration. So let's learn from Riley as she speaks to you as your student body president for one last time. Please welcome Riley Nielsen.
Oh my gosh, we are graduates. This is so exciting. Good afternoon, Cal Poly. Today, I am so honored to welcome the graduates of the College of Liberal Arts and the graduates of the Orfalea College of Business. And to you smarter folk in the front, your last days as a master's student, congrats. Like all of you, I started Cal Poly as a driven, ambitious student who was really, really into Nickelback. I cannot believe how much we have grown together, learned some pretty tough lessons together, and whether we know one another personally or not, become Mustangs together. Today, I want to share 3 things I have learned that hopefully you can relate to as fellow Mustangs. Number 1, never take a bull sweat without knowing that someone has a stick of gum in the bar. If you don't know what a bull sweat is, it's actually the most disgusting thing you will ever consume that I would prefer not to describe in detail. This may seem like a trivial life lesson, but what I'm trying to say here is don't take yourself so seriously that you forget to have fun. In college, we have this mentality that we can do anything, and so we do. Like jump on a roof until it collapses. Oh yeah. Or spend our Tuesday nights downtown because we get $2 off of beer. Makes total sense. Or eat appetizers for dinner. Yum. I mean, show of hands, who used the word send it this past quarter because you thought that it would be the last time you could do something ever? Well, hopefully it's not. And hopefully you never take yourself so seriously that you lose who you are in your core, no matter what age, what position you hold, or who you're trying to impress. Okay, number 2, never forget to say thank you. For us to arrive here today has been a combination of more efforts than just our own. We are grateful for the faculty and staff who have invested time and energy into our successes. But most importantly, I want to take a moment to say thank you to our biggest supporters and sponsors, our families. To all of the parents, grandparents, and family members in the stadium, although we don't say it enough, thank you for being our #1 fan. While support from our families may take many shapes and forms, know that your role in our life was exactly what it was supposed to be, and no matter how big or how small. Let's give our families a round of applause. All right, number 3, the final one. Your voice matters. This past year in my role, I set out on my platform as ASI president. Little did I know that we would have 2 fee increase proposals, a significantly heightened campus climate, and fires, floods, and shootings that impacted many of our Mustangs' lives back home. But what I learned is regardless of all of these things that happen that feel so out of our control, how much being present matters. I've seen activism take many shapes and forms this past year, not just through marches or sit-ins, but also meetings called by students with their deans, their alumni, and with administration. Letters, resolutions, statements, and even simple posts on social media. I saw how students called for more accessibility to safer and support for the cross-cultural centers. Those students worked alongside, not in opposition, to the people who could put their needs in motion. And as a result, 6 students unanimously voted to fund those initiatives that benefited the student body through the Student Success Fee Allocation Committee. Additionally, in April, there were over 28 letters of solidarity submitted by organizations across campus calling for a safer and more inclusive Cal Poly. These letters came from groups across campus. Some who were directly impacted by hurtful actions, and others that simply chose to speak out and stand up against hate because it's just the right thing to do. Your voice matters. All too often, we are timid to speak up because we are the youngest in the room or have the least experience. But y'all are badasses. Sure, we don't know it all, but own what you know and ask about what you don't. Let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you have ever voted in a college election. Thank God. Woohoo! Okay. Raise your hand if you are registered to vote and voted in the most recent primary election. Awesome. Shout out to each of you who threw your hand in the air because one vote, your voice, makes a difference. If you don't like something, do something about it. Don't underestimate yourself, because I can give you example after example of how when some of you finally chose to stand up for what you believe in, some serious things started to change. And I am proud to be graduating alongside a group of graduates who are so very much needed in this world right now. Less than 30% of our country has had the privilege to be a part of higher education. Use your degree to make your industry, or what you are passionate about, better. There are greater things ahead, Mustangs, and they will be challenging, but you have what it takes to go conquer the world. Thank you, Mustangs, for an incredible adventure. Ride high, and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, Riley, for that fantastic words and for your leadership this year on campus. Now please welcome Dr. Dustin Stegner, Chair of Cal Poly's Academic Senate, who will speak to you on behalf of our outstanding faculty. Dr. Stegner.
On behalf of the Cal Poly Academic Senate and all of our faculty, I am happy to welcome everyone who has come to celebrate all of the graduates' hard work and accomplishments. I would also like to say thank you to all these graduates' families, friends, and all of those who have given support throughout their lives and during their time at Cal Poly. Cal Poly students really do hit the ground running because of all the opportunities you have provided and the sacrifices you have made before the students' first day on campus. In a little while, each student will be given a Cal Poly degree, but I think it is more correct to say that this degree is not simply given, but rather it is earned. Through your long days and nights of studying, ability to persevere through difficult courses, and commitment to following through on your academic ambitions and passions, you have reached the long sought after goal. And for that, you should be proud of all that you have achieved. I am certain that I speak for all the faculty when I say that even though you are graduating, the faculty will continue to support you on all of your academic and professional endeavors. For in your future careers, whatever they may be, we see Cal Poly's commitment to academic excellence, to an educational philosophy grounded in learn by doing, moving forward beyond campus and into the world. It is the faculty's fundamental hope that your successes at Cal Poly are just the beginning of a lifelong of learning and achievement. Many congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Stegner. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the president of Cal Poly, Dr. Jeffrey D. Armstrong.
Well, congratulations to the graduates of the Orfalea College of Business and the College of Liberal Arts. Congratulations. Every year at these ceremonies, I have the privilege and honor of recognizing various individuals and groups for their contributions to Cal Poly. Cal Poly's faculty is central to our educational mission. These individuals serve with outstanding qualifications and a deep dedication to excellence in teaching, research, and service. This year, the Distinguished Teaching Award Committee and the Distinguished Scholarship Award Committee of the Academic Senate selected 6 recipients to be recognized for their exceptional ability as educators. The Cal Poly Alumni Association, representing over 190,000 alumni nationwide, joins the Academic Senate in recognizing these distinguished teachers and in celebrating the key role our faculty members play in preparing you for success in life. One recipient of the Distinguished Scholarship Award is with us today, Todd Pierce, Professor of English in the College of Liberal Arts. Please welcome and give him a congratulatory. Let's welcome him. Thank you, Dr. Pierce. It is now my honor to confer an honorary degree on behalf of Cal Poly and the California State University. I would like to invite Ms. Margaret Fortune to step forward to receive her Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree. I think it's fair to say that every teacher hopes one day to look back over a long and fulfilling career and say, I helped some students succeed and improve their lives. Margaret Fortune can say that today, and she is still in full stride. And she has added satisfaction of having helped thousands of students who were otherwise likely to receive poor educations and unlikely to go to college. A native of Sacramento, Ms. Fortune earned her baccalaureate degree in political science from the University of California, Berkeley. There, she was the first African-American woman to be elected student body president. She earned her master's in public policy from Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government. She returned home to Sacramento, where her father, Dr. Rex Fortune, had started the Fortune School of Education in 1989 to recruit and train diverse teachers for the public schools, especially in the STEM fields. Margaret joined the family business and set about transforming it. Today, in addition to continuing to train teachers, the Fortune School operates a series of tuition-free, college preparatory, public charter schools. This began when she turned around Sacramento High School in 2003, exponentially increasing college acceptance rates. Today, there are 6 Fortune High Schools, the most recently opened of which is the Rex and Margaret Fortune Early College High School. This is in conjunction with Consumnes River Community College in Elk Grove. Students at this high school earn a high school diploma and an associate's degree in 4 years. The goal is for these students to be ready to transfer to a senior college, specifically, we hope, Cal Poly, when they graduate. Cal Poly faculty and students have been deeply involved in helping to create that innovative curriculum. Ms. Fortune served as a trustee of the California State University from 2008 and 2016, and she now serves as trustee emeriti. She sits on the board of directors for the California Charter Schools Association and serves on the President's Council of Advisors at Cal Poly. Ms. Fortune is a Pahara Aspen Fellow and has served as education advisor to 2 California governors, Gray Davis and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Margaret, it's my privilege and honor to count you as a friend and to work with you over the past few years, and it's my pleasure to bestow upon you an honorary degree of humane letters. Margaret Fortune, on the recommendation of the faculty of California Polytechnic State University, and by the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I am proud to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions. Congratulations. I now invite Dr. Fortune to provide a few comments.
Wow, that's extraordinary. When I came up with my father, who is known as Dr. Fortune, and now I get to join him in that honor. My dad's up there. Hi, Dad. I also want to thank my partner, Dr. Annette Melvin, who's also up there waving. It's an extraordinary honor to get the highest compliment from the Academy, and that's the distinction of the honorary doctorate. It's even a greater honor to get that award for work that is near and dear to my heart. It's my passion. Sometimes you go all around the world to solve problems when the problems are actually right in your backyard. When all you have to do is open your door to find those in need. In my community of Sacramento, African American students are the lowest performing students outside of students with special needs. This is the California, and this is the community that reared me. With all of the accolades that you have, and all of the degrees that you'll earn and the experiences that you have, you look like I could go anywhere. I chose to go to the place where I'm from, to solve the African American achievement gap by naming it and finding the best institutions to help solve it, to have skin in the game. And for the past 7 years, I've worked with Cal Poly, with Jeff Armstrong, starting by bringing my students, my Black students, to Cal Poly to learn in the Learn by Doing Science Lab in 5th grade. When those 5th graders became 9th graders, Cal Poly joined with me and our local community college, Cosumnes River College, to build a high school for those students. And now, they not only will be Cal Poly ready, they will be Cal Poly confident. They will be ready for this campus because they are competitively eligible. Our goal is to diversify the campus. And my question to you, and my challenge to you, is will Cal Poly be ready for my students? I know that through the hard work and dedication of you, the students of Cal Poly, of the alumni that you soon will become a part of the faculty and the administration, that together we will work to make sure the answer to that question is not only yes, but a resounding yes. I thank you so much for this honor and for all that you will do to fix the problems in your own backyard. With love and peace and grace.
Thank you, Dr. Fortune. Our keynote speaker today is one of our own, a 2013 graduate from the College of Liberal Arts and History, a Mustang who has gone out into the world and made us very Cal Poly proud. Wyatt O'Rourke teaches 7th and 8th grade humanities at City Springs Elementary Middle School in East Baltimore, Maryland. City Springs has the highest poverty rate of any school in Baltimore City and one of the highest rates in the United States. It's no overstatement to say that Wyatt has gone to one of the communities in the U.S. that are the most vulnerable and has done everything he can do to help. He has served as a middle school boys and girls basketball coach, a varsity and junior varsity girls volleyball coach, an English curriculum writer for Baltimore City Public Schools, a new member mentor for Teach for America Baltimore, a resident administrator at Lily Mae Carroll Jackson Carter School, and has led professional development on restorative practices, mindfulness education, culturally responsive curriculum writing, and understanding racial identity in classrooms. He also serves on the board of GLSEN Maryland, an organization that works to ensure equal access to opportunities and safe schools for students within the LGBTQ community, and serves as a member of the Strong Schools Maryland support team. His work has not gone unnoticed. Among many other honors, I'll just mention that Ellen DeGeneres featured Mr. O on her show last year and again this year. I'd like to say that his admirable and inspiring work came directly from his history major and women's and gender studies minor here at Cal Poly, and I'm sure they helped a great deal. But my suspicion is that his passion and motivation were already strong when he got here, and having met his family, I can understand. Would you please join me in giving Mr. O a warm welcome to Cal Poly. Welcome home.
I want to start today with a story. It's the story of a young, inquisitive, powerful boy, but because of his zip code, did not have access to the same opportunities that he rightfully deserved. This is the story of Dante. Not long ago, I sat where you sat. In fact, I sat about 20 rows up on the left-hand side right there. And during that day, I had a hard time concentrating on what was happening in front of me on the stage. Because I was too busy thinking ahead to what was next. Because you see, the day after graduation, I put everything I owned in 2 suitcases, I got on a red-eye flight, and I flew to Baltimore to start the next chapter of my life. I remember the first day of teaching in Baltimore City. I was in the main office and I got a schedule from my assistant principal. And I remember looking down upon it and seeing this class that said AIM English. I looked up at her and I said, what's AIM English? She said, that's our program for undercredited, overaged 8th graders, students who had failed multiple times in elementary school and middle school. She sensed my confusion. She looked back up and she said, you'll figure it out. And with that, I went upstairs to teach. What I didn't realize at the time was that it would be those 24 scholars that will forever change my passion, my trajectory in life. I remember the first day walking into that classroom, having those 24 students sitting in front of me, and there was one student that didn't quite look like he belonged. He looked a lot younger than the other students. I remember walking up to him and saying, "Are you sure you're in the right place?" He said, "I failed the 6th grade, then I failed the 7th grade, then I failed the 8th grade again last year. Now I'm 16 years old in the 8th grade. I hope I'm in the right place." That young man was Dante. And over the next several months, Dante and I would form a close relationship, spending long hours after school playing pickup basketball in the nearby courts, going down to the corner store to get a chicken box, or staying in my room after school eating fruit snacks, laughing about the events of the day. But at this part of the story, I have a secret I need to tell you. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was a first-year teacher. I was juggling being a full-time teacher and a full-time master's student at Johns Hopkins. I was planning lessons at 3 a.m. for the next day. And at one point, I felt like I wasn't in the right place. I called my principal and I told her that I think it was time for me to be done. And this was in October of my first year. And she said, "Take a week and reflect." And during that week was basketball tryouts. And Dante was eager to try out for the basketball team. So I walked with him over to the gym after school. He stood on the baseline, stretching, getting ready to play. The coach walked up to him and he said, "You're not allowed to try out today." Dante asked why, and he said, "You're not in appropriate athletic gear." Dante looked down at his school polo and khaki pants and quickly grew frustrated. Because you see, while Dante was incredibly intelligent, he also got frustrated very quickly. And I remember having to drag him out of the gym, walking down the staircase in silence, stopping at the first landing. Dante, turning to the wall, tears down his face, began punching the wall as hard as he could, sending a hole through it. He turned back to me, he looked me in the eye, and he said, "Mr. O, I'm going to kill myself tonight." I began crying. He told me in detail how he was going to do it, the gun he was going to use, and why he had chosen to make this path. I called my principal, and before long, we were at the Children's Hospital at Johns Hopkins, sitting in the psych ward. I called his mother, and I said, "I'm sorry, but you have to come pick up your son." His mother was an amazing woman, a single mother raising 5 children, Dante being her oldest, and she had to find a safe place for all 5 of her children to go. She had no money for bus fare and no car to transport her across the city. So I sat with Dante for the next 8 hours. And I remember at 2 a.m. in the morning when his mother walked through the door, she walked right up to him, gave him a hug, and she said, "Dante, my job is to prevent you from becoming another statistic to these streets, because it's time we change the statistics." You see, it was at that moment between a loving mother and her amazing son, that I realized it would be an abuse of my privilege to think I could just get up, pack up, and leave a community and there would be no real-world consequences. It was at that moment that I realized I wasn't in college anymore. Because you see, in college, I can hide behind a computer screen. You see, in college, I study the world through the pages of a textbook or the intricacies of the internet. I sit back and could critique the world around me, only held accountable for the solutions I came up with based on the feedback I got from my professor or the grade that I earned. You see, it's one thing to discuss the statistics of a world within a classroom. It's a far different thing to hold those same statistics within your hand. And what you need to understand is that I spent hours in school studying the challenges that youth faced. And at that moment, I had no other option but to do whatever I could. I had no computer screen to hide behind, no backspace key to press if my idea wasn't feasible, and no professor to give me feedback. There will become a time over the next several days or weeks or months or years where you too will realize you are no longer in college. And the choices that you make and the decisions that you make will have real-world outcomes for more people than you could ever imagine possible. So my question for you is simple. How will you use that power? What will you do when you are forced to hold the statistics of our society within your hands, when you can no longer sit back and pass off blame to others? Will you hide behind computer screens, or will you instead dismantle the structures and systems of inequality that plague every institution in this country? Who completely silence the voices of those who no longer deserve to be silenced, whether you choose to realize it or not. We live in a country that constantly uses the principles it was founded on to hold back our communities, whether it's our communities of color, our immigrant communities, our LGBTQ communities. We sit back as they push forth racist, misogynistic, heteronormative ideals that we must now fight to overcome as we empower those communities through our voices and through our actions. When I first began attempting to write this speech, I do what I normally do these days, and I ask my kids for help. And when I posed the question to the class, I heard fairly typical commencement speech responses. They said, remind them to live out their dreams, tell them to shoot for the stars, tell them to be the next generation of role models for them to look up to, and tell them to pursue journeys worthy of their pursuit. And after school, as I was straightening up the desk in my classroom, a young woman walked through the door. This is normally one of my very vocal students, but during class she had said nothing. I asked her what was up, and she didn't say anything. I asked her again several times what was up, and she still said nothing, just looking down at the ground, wringing out her hands. Then suddenly tears began streaming down her face as she looked up to me, and she said, I want you to ask them how it feels. At first, I wasn't certain what she was referring to, so I said, how what feels? She said, I want you to ask them how it feels to hold a degree in their hands that the majority of this country will never get to hold. How it feels to hold a degree in their hands that people who look like her, young African-American girls from Baltimore, may never get to hold simply because the opportunities they had and the place that they called home. She said, you taught me better than to be naive about the realities of our world. I know the statistics, I know the chances, and if I never get a chance to walk across that stage, I want to know what it feels like to do so. You see, the reality is around 70% of our country will never get to hold a degree in their hands. For my students, their own reality is marked by statistics that tell them only 1 in 5 of them may ever get to celebrate a moment like this. So I ask you simply, what will you do with this opportunity? What doors will you open for others? What lives will you change? What communities will you empower? What stories will you now help write? After I graduated, I got a phone call from my grandma, who's here today, and she said, did you read the card I sent you? I have to be honest, I didn't read it. I had actually lost it in one of my backpacks, and she called me every day for the next several days. She said, did you read it? Did you read it? Did you read it? And finally, I found the card. I was unpacking. And I remember opening it up, being incredibly excited, and inside it just said, "Thank you for everything you do. Love, Anna, and Bapa." And I must say I was a bit confused. I didn't know why she was so pressed for me to read this card, and I was somewhat disappointed. I remember closing it up, throwing it on my desk, then I looked down upon it again. And on the front side of the card, there was a quote that read, "Some people look for a beautiful place. Others make a place beautiful." Within our society, it has become so easy to spend our time searching out a perfect place, whether it's the perfect place to live, the perfect job to have, the perfect school to go to. But far fewer of us take the time to roll up our sleeves and seek to improve the communities that we wish to call our homes. It's one thing to search out the beauty in the world. It's far more important thing to create the beauty that surrounds you. So class of 2018, I ask you to create the beauty that you wish to see in this world, to empower the communities that you wish to call your homes, and to create a world where all people have the potential to blossom and grow. A world you are proud to call your own. So thank you for this humbling experience today. Now go out and fill our world with love. Thank you, Cal Poly.
Thank you so much, Mr. O, for those inspiring words. Even Amtrak approves. We are very, very Cal Poly proud of you and what you've done in this world, and we look forward to you making this world a better place, because we know you can. Many of the proud supporters in the audience today have a familiar and exceptional sense of pride. Today marks an extraordinary day for the families of Cal Poly graduates who have chosen to continue their Mustang legacy. Many of you in the audience are Cal Poly proud alumni, and you may remember with vivid clarity the sense of pride and excitement that you felt when you graduated from Cal Poly. At this time, I would like to welcome anyone in the audience, the proud families, supporters, friends, parents, partners, spouses who are Cal Poly proud alumni. Please stand or wave if you are able to be recognized. Welcome home. Welcome home. You are always part of the Mustang family wherever you go. Now, graduates, at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Ellen Cahoon, Assistant Vice President of Alumni Outreach, to welcome you into the community of Cal Poly alumni.
Thank you, Keith, and congratulations, graduates. So I'm going to start my remarks with a question for you. Are you feeling Cal Poly proud? Of course you are, and I share that pride as well, since I myself am a Cal Poly graduate. And I am so thrilled and honored to be able to invite you to the 190,000 strong community of Cal Poly proud alumni. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I'm also honored to give you your very first gift as alumni. So if you'll join me in a special part of today's ceremony by reaching into the bag at your chair and pulling out the small Cal Poly proud pin. And please stand while I invite Mr. O back to the podium one more time, and we'll do this pinning ceremony together. Now that you are alumni, please pin your fellow graduate as a symbol of your belonging to the Mustang family forever. And remember, you will always represent Cal Poly, and this will always be your home. So come home often, congratulations, and stay Cal Poly proud. Alumni, guests, fellow graduates, please join the Cal Poly Wind Orchestra as they perform our alma mater, listed on page 6 of your programs. Congratulations.
Okay, graduates, it's that time. It is time to confer degrees on the graduating class of 2018. Let's get excited! Yeah! To preside over the conferral of degrees, please welcome Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Kathleen N. Svinken.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would now like to recognize the recipients of the Academic Excellence Award from the College of Liberal Arts and the Orfalea College of Business. The Academic Excellence Award is determined in consultation with the faculty and is based on the students' outstanding academic performance, contributions to the college and university, and engagement in community service. With the following Academic Excellence awardees, please stand and come forward to be recognized. Amanda Shrewsbury, Academic Excellence Awardee from the College of Liberal Arts. Lauren Miller, Academic Excellence Awardee from the Orfalea College of Business. Sorry, from the College of Liberal Arts. She just earned a new business degree there. And Melanie Logan, the Academic Excellence Awardee from the Orfalea College of Business. I'm sorry, ladies. It works. Congratulations. Thank you. Next time you should announce your name. Thank you. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement. It's now time to recognize our master's degree candidates. Graduates, let me share the significance of the master's hood that adorns your regalia. The origins of the commencement regalia date back to the 12th and 13th centuries when universities were first taking form. The hood was originally worn for warmth in the cold medieval buildings and probably useful today. The specific lining color represents the discipline you have now mastered. Wear your hood with pride. It connects you with the earliest traditions of higher education and denotes your scholarly and professional achievements. I am now pleased to present Richard Savage, Dean of Graduate Education, who will present the master's degree candidates.
Good afternoon. This year, over 500 students will be earning a master's degree from Cal Poly. You have explored your field of study to a deeper level and achieved the goal that only 9% of adult Americans have earned, a master's degree. We are proud that you chose Cal Poly for your post-baccalaureate studies. Now remember, dream big, never give up, and go out and make a difference. Master's degree candidates of the College of Liberal Arts and the Orfalea College of Business, please stand and be recognized. Faculty from the College of Liberal Arts and the Orfalea College of Business, please stand. President Armstrong, on behalf of the faculty involved with our graduate programs, I am honored to present these master's degree candidates.
Master's candidates, on the recommendation of the faculty of California Polytechnic State University and by the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I now confer upon each of you the master's degree appropriate to your program with all attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions. Congratulations.
Faculty and graduate students, you may be seated.
Congratulations, master's degree recipients. It's now time to present our bachelor's degree candidates. I present to you the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Doug Epperson.
Well, first off, congratulations to all the graduates this afternoon. I've been asked to say a few words about the College of Liberal Arts before presenting the class to President Armstrong, and all I can say is it's him. That's what the College of Liberal Arts is about. Wyatt O'Rourke, we could not be more proud of you and the work that you're doing. Thank you again. But for those of you in the audience who are less knowledgeable about the liberal arts, let me just say quickly that home to 17 majors and 33 minors, the College of Liberal Arts is the center of both historical and contemporary knowledge about humanity in its many manifestations, including creative expression, human cognition, emotion, and behavior, social and organizational behavior, political and public policy construction, cultural development, practices and implications, communication in all of its many forms, and diversity, inclusion, cultural awareness, and social justice. We produce graduates who think creatively, critically, contextually, and reflectively about problems and their solutions. Graduates that communicate effectively orally, visually, and in writing, who value and understand people from different racial, ethnic, and cultural backgrounds. Graduates who work constructively on teams, engage in lifelong learning, and actively participate in their communities, the communities in which they live, the communities across the nation that they participate in, as well as being citizens of the world, and often playing leadership roles in those communities. Graduates, you are educated for success in whatever you pursue. Congratulations once again. Faculty from the College of Liberal Arts, please stand and be recognized. Bachelor's degree candidates from the College of Liberal Arts, please stand and remain standing. President Armstrong, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Liberal Arts, I am honored to present these graduates, or these candidates for graduation.
Bachelor's degree candidates, on the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Liberal Arts, and by the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree appropriate to your program, with all attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions. Congratulations!
Graduates and faculty, you may now be seated.
I would now like to introduce the Dean of the Orfalea College of Business, Scott Dawson.
So about 25 years ago, Tammy Kiley sat in this audience, just like you today, and she went on, and she's had a great career at KPMG and then at Goldman Sachs. And about 4 years ago, Tammy started to get involved in the college. She's probably been here 10 times. She's on our advisory board. She spent time in classrooms many, many different times. She's mentored students. She's welcomed students to her office in San Francisco. She's made it possible for our students to go to Goldman Sachs in New York City. And Tammy is just one of the many alumni who had a ton of pride and have given their time and their treasure so that you could have a better experience. So your relationship with Cal Poly is not over today. This is just the beginning. At the right time, be a part of that pride. Come back and make the experience better for the people who will be sitting here in the future. So congratulations. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your lives. I'm very happy for you. Also sad to see so many great friends be moving on, but I look forward to seeing you in the future. And just one last thing, put your phone away when you drive. Faculty from the Orfalea College of Business, please stand and be recognized. And bachelor's degree candidates from the Orfalea College of Business, please stand and remain standing. President Armstrong, on behalf of the faculty of the Orfalea College of Business, I'm honored to present these candidates for graduation.
Bachelor's degree candidates, on the recommendation of the faculty of the Orfalea College of Business, and by the authority vested in me by the trustees of the California State University, I now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree appropriate to your program with all attendant rights, responsibilities, and distinctions. Congratulations!
Graduates and faculty, you may now be seated.
Well, you did it, graduates. Congratulations again. I'd like to take a few moments and share a few comments, and then we have something that you'll do to signify your graduation, and then we'll spend our time recognizing each and every one of you across the stage. Do you remember your first day on campus? Seeing your dorm room for the first time, do you remember that? Walking around with your other wowies. Do you remember the first time that person said, "Did we just become best friends?" You know that, right? So here you are today, as Vice President Humphrey said, from wow to now. It's a journey that you did not take alone. First, we must recognize the faculty and staff who worked hard to teach you, to feed you, to support you, and inspire you. They have dedicated their professional lives to your success. Will our faculty and staff in attendance please stand or wave? Graduates, please join me in giving them a great, huge round of applause. Thank you, faculty and staff. You may be seated. The stadium today is filled with your strongest supporters, the people who have given their boundless love, encouragement, and yes, financial support as you move out into the world. And they're emphasizing that part, move out into the world. Your graduation today is their achievement as well. Will all the parents, grandparents, siblings, spouses, partners, and other family supporters please stand if you're able or wave? Graduates, let's give it up to your supporters. Thank you. There's another group here today, and really here beyond today, that has supported you at Cal Poly. And most of you would not be here today without the taxpayers of California. Over the years, the CSU and the state of California has put billions of dollars into Cal Poly to really make it the amazing place it is. So to honor this support, I ask you to do two things. First, go get amazing and fulfilling jobs, experience graduate or professional school, and pay those taxes, California, and help move Cal Poly forward. I would also ask to do what Mr. O said and find your place and use this degree to do well. Don't forget to give back, to pay it forward to the institutions that have helped you, your family, friends, others that are dear to you, and of course, Cal Poly. And then second, especially to the parents and supporters and our graduates, ask the state of California to support higher education. It needs to be supported better, not just this year, but in every year's budget. There are many things that deserve public support. Higher education is one of those. Please help us with that. Now, I'd like to share a few additional comments with you. I don't always admit it in public, but I'm a big sci-fi nerd. I really like the Star Wars, Star Trek. One of my favorite movies was an H.G. Wells story, The Time Machine. You've been able to see it as a remake. There's a scene in that movie where the hero is in the time machine. He's in this bubble, and the portal, the hero can look out, and it's just years and years and years and years moving past at high speed. So today, let's think about a movie of Cal Poly graduation. And let's go from, say, 1906, our first commencement, until 2106, which will be our 200th, but not our last. And then we're going to speed it up, so this is not a long graduation speech. The students, of course, remain ever young. While the faculty get grayer and rounder, they move a little slower, they eventually disappeared, and then they're replaced by younger scholars with better clothes and haircuts, right? The setting evolves, there's newer technology, there's still selfies, there's updated buildings in the background, evidence of passing fads, and the band playing furiously. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, if you look closely at this movie while things are speeding by, you'll see people return in new roles. Graduates become parents of graduates. Some return as faculty, members of the staff. You'll also notice some other things. The number of the graduates keeps changing. In 1906, we graduated 8 students. So that number rose steadily. It dipped during the 2 world wars, and today we're awarding almost 4,800 degrees. You also go back to the beginning, and you see that half of the graduates are women. Half of those 8 graduates are women. But they disappear from 1930 until 1956. A senseless discrimination that began by law and then was continued by prejudice. They come back slowly, and only in the last 10 years are women's faces appearing at close or equal to their share of the California population. And we're really close to that today. 50%. How about that? That is amazing. You also go back to the early years, and most of the students are white. Over time, there's a few students that reflect Asian or Hispanic ancestry, Native American, Pacific Islander, and others. Not until the 1970s, until there were a significant number of students from underrepresented minority groups in this fast-moving movie. Those numbers and the proportion of the student body they represent increase steadily, yet even by today's graduation, our student body does not look like the rest of California. But now let's move forward. The students, they continue to change. The student body is more and more diverse. There are students of all colors. There are men and women and people whose gender is fluid or can't easily be read just by looking. In the stands, there are families with a mom and a dad, or 2 moms, or 2 dads. There are rainbow flags representing our LGBTQ grads, faculty and staff, and rainbow infinity signs representing autistic and other proudly neurodiverse members of our Cal Poly community. In the future, students will still be making these cool mortarboards that you see today. Those mortarboards will represent every kind of diversity of identity, of religion, of ideology, and of experience. These changes will be visible among the students, the faculty, the staff, and the families and friends in the stands. I firmly expect and I sincerely hope that it will be my face on this stage, me still making this speech, when Cal Poly diversity reflects that of this beautiful state. And then we can say to Dr. Fortune, yes, resoundingly, we are ready, and we will embrace and welcome your students and all students. Now, thank you. There's some things that won't change. Some things won't change. 88 years from now, in 2106, our focus will still be on student success, on excellence, and being the premier comprehensive polytechnic university in the United States. Students will still engage and learn by doing, just as they had for the last 200 years. We will be a vibrant residential campus with strong ties to our local, state, national, and international communities. And the students will still be young and wonderful and poised on the edge of the most exciting adventure of their lives, just waiting for this speech to end, which it just did. Congratulations, graduates. Now, there's two things that you need to do. One symbolic that you can do at your seat, and another, again, is walking across the stage. So, would the class of 2018 please rise if you're able? Please stand. To symbolize that you are graduates and members forever of the Cal Poly family, please move the tassel on your mortarboard from the right side to the left. Family members, friends, family and staff, on behalf of Cal Poly, I present to you the class of 2018. Congratulations!
Congratulations, class of 2018. It's now your turn to walk across the stage and receive your individual recognition. As a reminder to all of our graduates and guests, after you come across the stage and receive congratulations from your faculty, please return to your seats and celebrate and cheer for your fellow graduates. We expect everyone to stay and support each graduate equally throughout the rest of this ceremony, and at the conclusion of the ceremony, all graduates will receive a commemorative gift upon exiting the stadium. Please remain at your seats until your row is escorted to the stage. Faculty from the College of Liberal Arts and Orfalea College of Business, please proceed to the outside perimeter of the graduate seating area to congratulate your graduates as they exit the stage.
Tommy Acton.
Jacqueline Noel Hayes. Philip David Goodwin.
Nicholas Jaber.
Megan Marks.
Emily Espinosa.
Sarah Elizabeth Wilkinson. Kristen Ventresca.
Christine Brianna Dasso.
James Verlin Smith.
Rosalina Iniguez Ruiz Vasquez.
Kristen Noel Kohler.
Peter Anthony Zwart Jr.
Emily Weatherby.
Sarableen Kaur.
Diana Northness.
Brian Klinger.
Audrey Naomi Pierce.
Ricardo Lopez Borallo.
Marissa Wilson.
Ryan Brado.
Michelle Dickerson.
Julio Chavez.
Trinity Bergia.
Mia Leilani Blondino.
Susan Pollard.
Perry Glotzian.
Ian Bewley.
Benjamin Campos.
Colton Privet.
Negin Falahati.
Nicole Miles.
Madeline Camilleri.
Sarah Funk.
Ben Hagblade.
Alex Boutrous.
Jenna Betancourt.
Caitlin Joy From.
Zachary William Lee Schmidt.
Morgan Patricia Wilson.
Stan Lezinski.
Madison Cheney.
Nick Peterson.
Madison Alice Edie.
John Paul Franzia.
Avery Michelle Fonserrada.
Jacob Edward Smith.
Elena Wasserman.
Brianna Lynn Hernandez.
Phoebe Conrad.
Lindsay Sierra Crowner.
Carson Wack.
Rachel Dorazio.
Garrett K. Liu.
Zachary Tyler Denault.
Harrison Chong.
Michael Craig Manning.
Wayne Howard Mitchell.
Mason Severe.
Shelby Catherine Willits.
Sam Rackwitz.
Lindsay Mann.
Brittany Ray Bordage.
Angela Solis.
Melanie Logan.
Michelle Nicole Key.
Alex Wu.
Sean Michael Bird.
Nicholas Hanamoto.
Divya Thurnagari.
Sierra Schomburg.
Roya Farugi.
Jordan Shaw.
Kelly Taylor Jacobs.
Alton Wu.
Kayla Amanda Veloso.
Tyler Christopher Chen.
Elizabeth Cruz Trujillo.
Logan Voss.
Samantha Joe Siegel.
Jonathan Reyes Madrid.
Chase Canavere.
Omar Lomeli.
Brett Barcelos.
Juan Lopez Ledesma.
Cody Leventhal.
Maricela Beas.
Kyle Allen Kelly.
Adolfo Alonso Inguanzo.
Julia Nurse.
Juan Carlos Maravilla.
Natalie Bruner.
Robert Morales.
Alexa Adelman.
Ibrahim Azam.
Troy Strange.
Paul Kendrick Flora.
Hannah Zaria.
Alexandra Dothwaite.
Pavan Sohal.
Hannah Hunter.
Teresa Eads.
Kelsey Carpenter.
Hannah Hester.
Rachel Poyer.
Jillian Kleppinger.
Rowan Pearson.
Hannah Sorensen.
Hattie K. Marie Adams.
Ray McDonald Horita.
Joshua Robert Adams.
Chloe Spencer.
Casey Margaret Lee.
Amanda Blair Presar.
Zachary M. Wong.
J.B. Garcia.
Janice Miron Cho.
Brooke Elizabeth McCullum.
Nicole Wu.
Carolyn Pires.
Isabel Tung.
Jessica Brooks.
Haley Brittingham.
Ian Kim.
Margarita Patio.
Isabel Leticia Kwan.
Elvis Nguyen.
Daisy Jimenez.
Mitchell Gonzalez.
Yasmin Eid.
Alejandro de Alba.
Patricia Z.
Alec Davis Rogers.
Karen Nguyen.
Ryan Drews.
Sydney Madison.
Mark DeWicki.
Heather Collins.
Kyle Jeffrey Papinga.
Erin Matsuda.
Remy Lee.
Chandler Stroh.
Luke Stephen Kelly.
Jessica Faria.
Tyler Huggins.
Ramiro Molina.
Michael Graff. Sophia Ida Christina Lundgren.
Mira Ambika Banerjee Brown.
Bailey Reed.
Karina Alyssa G.
Haley Weber.
Megan Sarah Hermer.
Jackie Noel Hing Pacheco.
Ashley Bomer.
Lindsay Ellen Gonzalez.
Emily Hohenreiter.
Kevin Rivas.
Shauna Rinaldi El Abed.
Danny Halprin.
Jessica Demulius.
Andrew Jewelskins.
Olivia Wyckoff.
Michelle Toves.
Corey Mojo.
Brandon Wakefield.
Connor Sheehan.
Sam Oberg.
Nathan Nungarai.
Ryan Amesbury.
Catherine De Osuna.
Colin Summerhauser.
Talia Bravo.
Spencer Stuckey.
Mary Ewai.
Michael Bull.
Solstice Zarunsky.
Andrew Dieterle.
Carly Myers.
Michael O'Leary.
Ekaterina Pedrova.
Will Connor Reardon.
Trinity Boblets.
Sydney Sima.
Emily Taylor Savage.
Felix Rodriguez.
Mackenzie Heidi Nelson.
Janessa Matarang.
Elizabeth Joan Bentler.
Serena Bachua.
Julia Freet.
Gina Ow.
Abigail Bull Wyndham.
Bethany Chan.
Carla Mercado.
Benjamin Louis.
Madeline Mary Jane Hosick.
Kevin Jonathan Chu.
Nate Edelman.
Calvin Wang.
Michaela Dews.
Jason Fan.
Megan Shellong.
Keith Lamb.
Eric Engel.
Kenneth Yu.
Haley Sakai.
Kevin Tian.
Naba Ahmed.
Adam Lin.
Brendan Matsuyama.
Jason Liu.
Kara Jean Benson.
Kathy Liu.
John Yu.
Madeline Carlson.
Dan Dempster.
Jordan Joyce Nabuku Mendoza.
Antonia Di Matteo.
Andrew Clyde Tanvahit.
Lauren Nicole Pluim.
Monica Kate Saldua Puentespina.
Jenna Marie Noche.
Richie Choi.
Bridget Zebley.
Miranda Ho.
Isabella Garcia Lopez.
Alexis Martin.
Cassandra Olofsson.
Ellie Derrick.
Yamile Natarin Fuentes.
Natalie Condon.
Gabriela Peralto.
Kimberly Crail.
Jocelyn Gonzalez Granados.
Kendall Peyton Spector.
Nancy Sandoval.
Anthony James Campos.
Lupe Heredia.
Ryan Down.
Jessica Franzides.
David Sean Dixon.
Matthew McDougall.
Kit Taves.
Aubrey Young.
Evan Ramirez.
Madeline Nicole Minas.
Cade Vallejo.
Anna Charney.
Mason Koshinsky.
Karen Beltran.
Travis Grady Hallett.
Jacqueline Navarrete.
Bryden Clark.
Emily Isabel Garcia.
Amanda Schaefer.
Annalise Conroy.
Ben Lakes.
Antoinette Rivera Diaz.
Jensen Lay.
Megan Della Porta.
Keith Anderson.
Julianne Gumbots.
Sergio Coyce.
Tori Leitz.
Eric Singh.
Jack Lodell Webb.
Adeola Alexander Olayami.
Nelson McIntosh.
Pedra Mashaw.
Brittany Najin Kim.
Jordan Cook.
Farrakha Jacqueline Carroll.
Christopher Chaboya.
Jesse Ann Bierling.
Kyle Shikashio.
Cara Megan Dowds.
Jordan Tickton.
Stevie Elzinga.
Mitchell Joseph Sales.
Serena Batale.
Zachary Carroll Austin.
CJ Covington.
Daniel Jordier.
Jessica Lynn Metzinger.
Madison Carlentine.
Amy Elizabeth Rush.
Victoria Martinez.
Jacob Forrester.
Larissa Hoffman.
Taylor Morhart.
William Sawyer Salvato.
Bryce Aston.
Timothy Miller.
Joseph Deonda.
Timothy James Brazina.
Joe Schutz.
Brina Jolyn Burke.
Matt White.
Igor Burgos Marin.
Tyler Stockton.
Patrick Chesbro.
Chris Wall.
Ethan James Warren.
Dylan Wong.
Aiden Marks.
Taylor O'Hanlon.
Corey Belt.
Jessica Savelli.
Connor Crawford.
Zach Schottenfeld.
Austin Cron.
Taylor Christian Shershinovich.
Alexis Elizabeth Black.
Joanna Phillips.
Claire Holhouse.
Brittany Shiro.
Justin Kyle Watkins.
Haley Nicole Allison.
Isabel Ortega.
Mackenzie Louise Farrow.
Michaela Clayton Riso.
Lauren Elizabeth Ashworth.
Megan Elizabeth Roguski.
Kaylin Melissa Hosokawa.
Josh Rubin.
Angela Guadalupe Pulido Sandoval.
Troy Just.
Ethan Roman.
Alex Johnson.
Cassidy Clark.
Parker Mintz.
Hunter White.
Sean Olson.
Trey Sturgis.
Jared Wexler.
Cheney Lau.
Travis Selski.
Lauren Janowski.
Cole Claypool.
Michaela Bell Riggs.
Stephen Johnson.
Grace Irvine.
Stephen Doler.
Emily Hulsman.
Nada Kananga.
McCall Kistler.
Leah Matthew.
Kevin Lobb.
Carrie Doran.
Charlie Clyde Davis III.
Rose Ann Page.
Darren Anje.
Stephanie Cannon.
Caleb Melton.
Carla Adela Carey.
Elizabeth Bernfeld.
Megan Wong.
Brittany Nelson.
Julia Lauren Burge.
Garrett Benham.
Anaga Vinayak.
Leroy Malosan Jr.
Aditya Joshi.
Efren Sean Felix Parado Jr.
Reese Woodard.
Michelle Kydell.
Stephanie Claire Lee.
Ashley Lefebvre.
Samuel Sebastian Alvarez.
Emma Wilson.
Lorenzo Lee Lindberg.
Nicole Pittman.
Jose Samperio.
Griffith Jennings.
Matthew Andreas Nye.
Michaela Renee Persilli.
Ethan Turer.
Anna Marie Yaxi.
Tim Elkanah.
Nicole Kim.
Cameron Weesey.
Brittany Cusick.
Alexa Roselle.
Garrett Bucky.
April Marie Smith.
Alexandra Bush.
Arthur James Schulte.
Sarah Metcalf Hall.
Shannon Smith.
Benjamin John Shaner.
Vicky Punchall.
Jill Gibson.
Sydney Griggs.
Jennifer Sarah Jang.
Ian Dixon.
Kevin Glass.
Lexi Gerard.
Hannah Cassidy.
Naveed Amiri.
Kelsey Smith.
Arman Banetaba.
Katrina Fogel.
Zachary Sievers.
Jennifer McClinton.
Taylor Lynn Messer.
Daniel Cook.
Catherine Michelle Cooper.
Daphne Lay.
Trenton William Scherenberg.
Sarah Dickerson.
Jared Patrick Williams.
Beatrice Pereira.
Talia Leah Hoffman.
Taylor Petchel.
Lydia Geegan.
Danica Schultz.
Tara Hall.
Hannah Avdolovich.
Megan Julin.
Chase Dean.
Yasi Aga.
Nathan Russell Stobie.
Baylor Hunstad.
Maya Rose Fernandez.
Jessica Lermont.
Rebecca Korb.
Joseph Franklin.
Heidi Joy Pomeroy.
Holly Harrison.
Gisela Beltran.
Daniel Ruben Garcia.
Shalini Quattlebaum.
Ben Frazier.
Laura Garola Mariscal.
Bradley Allman. Matthew Kesselring.
Sena Agbemadon.
Dallas Butler.
Saisa Willis.
Rowan Cardos.
Maggie Liu.
Sebastian Hamirani.
Che Kwan.
Denise Danielle Lee Hensley.
Jabe Marvis Williams.
Christopher Chun.
Kristen Lee.
Stephanie Wong.
Jason Azriel Campos.
Allison Michael.
McCall Stone.
Lauren Crom.
Emily Bolger.
Alice Reed.
Lisa Winnick.
Casey Garrett.
Rachel Allegra Katz.
Jamie Harada.
Benjamin Leonard Klein.
Elaine Ray Eaglesham.
Lana Christine Borges.
Lisette Rocha Campos.
Kira Marie Rosney.
Dakota Thomas.
Debbie Chamberlain.
Nolan Newland.
Emily Hennard.
Brandon Wynn.
Sophia Bergland.
William Campuzano.
Sky Zimmerman.
Amanda Trong.
Shannon Dalporto.
Nathan Thomas.
Molly O'Brien.
Kevin Russo.
Sasha Kobolinski.
Austin Woodard.
Robert Elliott Gray.
Justin Bradley Roberts.
Carrie O'Brien.
Juliana DeVries.
Kristen Lundeen.
Greg Egan.
Haley Nelson.
Shelby Funk.
Alyssa Whitney.
Ashlyn Harris.
Sydney Brooke Clark.
Aditi Vapa.
Holland Rose Chance.
Brianna Yay.
Brittany Vibach.
Alexander Sola.
Caitlin Nicole Cox.
Josh Guelphy.
Elise Vivian Getzel.
Tal Edelstein.
Noel Felicities.
Megan Jade Gross.
Christian Leonie Shirk.
Justin Will.
Matt Klepfer.
Quan James Coe.
Nikki Petkopoulos.
Austin Soto.
Mick Bruckner.
Nathaniel Komar.
Brian Kinney.
Megan Renee Frizzy.
Jenna West.
Megan Lynn Chamberlain.
Amy Sudbury.
Colin Lisk.
Madeline Teague.
Marissa Brazelton.
Karina Ocampo.
Gabby Mahmood.
Courtney Lucas.
Catherine Ann Lamson.
Savannah Hohen.
Brianna Butler.
Julia Thomas.
Laurel Cool.
Lauren Nicole Meyer.
Samantha Rollander.
Kaylin Elizabeth Carpenter.
Annabelle Carpenter.
Alina Schwank-Mueller.
Caitlin Barr.
Eduardo Daniel Trujillo.
Sarah Emily Matthews.
Tyler Butts Martin.
Savannah Jane Rogers.
Ryan Freeman.
Elena DeAngelis.
Kara Gareski.
Heather Stanbury.
Ileana Salas.
Courtney Benner.
Catherine Jane White.
Simran Moza.
Samuel Max Goldman.
Shafali Mathrani.
Lauren Elizabeth Moore.
Brittany Marie Oliveira.
Caterina Baeza Hernandez.
Massimo Warren Gambrioli.
Colleen Thaxton.
Sophia Maria Moralatos.
Janine Raymond.
Christina Newton.
Bria Marie Brickman.
Christiana Tran.
Christopher Spawn.
Cynthia Gonzalez.
Jeff Bowden.
Sophia Alicia Jimenez.
Jasmine May Vieira.
Hillary Grace Jaruszewski.
Samantha Louise Bonilla.
Catherine Clark.
Spencer Brooks Knowlton.
Megan Mossman.
Margot Jones.
Francis Nguyen Kwa.
Kelly Tompkins.
Gabby Chen.
Julia McClintock.
Tony Mara Fajardo Lanton.
Annika Miller.
Janelyn Lagrama.
Victoria Gately.
Mark Augustus McGuire.
Kelsey Groan.
Sabina Kadar.
Brooke Richter.
Monique Wynn.
Caitlin Johnke.
Quentin McLean.
Peyton Cherry.
Sarah Ix.
Paulina Isabel Velasquez Mata.
Talia Torres.
Elise Barsh.
Dorian Sportsman.
Jaylene Arcila Mendoza.
Jonathan Blunt.
Nicole Poplin Dilly.
Benjamin Brooks.
Alyssa Power.
Meredith Wu.
Gwyn Birch.
Matt Osborne.
Melanie Capoli.
Patrick Hayden Soper.
Kat Cuthrell.
Cheyenne Taylor Tucker.
Alexandra Danielle Foy.
Leopoldo Angula Martinez.
Christian Salyer.
Liza Sims.
Brooke Allison Brisky.
Kenneth Tylak.
Kristen Whalen.
Matthew Harvey.
Melissa Margolis.
Megan McIver.
Brittany Bromberg.
Quinn Bradle.
Lauren Walter.
Alex Kolarzik.
Haley Buckles.
Drew Oakley Ziegler.
Kaylee Brunke.
Sophie Kathleen West.
Amy Lemire.
Mason Peter McCloskey.
Rachel Marie Foote.
Samuel David Godfrey.
Lainey Woods.
Courtney Adelia Owens.
Madison Taylor Baskell.
David Anthony DiCecco.
Lucy Frey Klein.
Eli Walker Schulman.
Rachel Marie Denton.
Cheyenne Rain Wilson.
Melissa Ann Muirhead.
Colton Merrill.
Kimberly Diane Curry.
Vivian Trin.
Hope Liu Mosley.
Teresa Tran.
Jennifer Ashley Jones.
Samantha Osborne.
Rachel Elizabeth Ainley.
Roderick Polito.
Jenna Marie Nolte.
S. Levi Adizi.
Lauren Brinsfield.
Alexis Signs.
Jenna Iwamora.
Christian Francisco Bolaños.
Danny Anthony.
Juliana Cadena Jaramillo.
Zoe Noel Magno.
Karina Morales.
Kellen McDonough.
Ariana Gamboa.
Alexa Risen.
Michaela Miyazaki.
Mira Sale.
Devin Vodka.
Jennifer Simpson.
Eric Beecham.
Nicholas Valenti.
Camden Murtaugh.
Olivia Claire Quinto.
Laura Civic.
Gregory Taxerman.
Griffin Lehman.
Christine Kaylani Nicole Fong.
Felicia Johnson.
Rachel Goldman.
Rayanne Kelsey Matier.
Anaí Andrade.
Marcus Chayati.
Malia Rose Christensen.
Julie Park.
Colton Cheney Marino.
Christopher Bird.
Maxwell Adam Reichart.
Malcolm Mitchell.
Zach Kirby.
Ryan Sullivan Williams.
Justin Daniel Menz.
Chloe Loomer.
Riley Fitzpatrick Griffin.
Daniel Enriquez Luna.
Owen Chase Shackleton.
Jennifer Yu.
Emily Osgood.
Janice Lynn.
Madeline Pollard.
Yan Yu.
Sarah Rose Locati.
Claire Liu.
Amelia Fresky.
Amanda Vong Trong.
Ryan John Miller.
Annie Tang.
Ali Shivers.
Kristen DeStefano.
Brenna Sandvik.
Miles McLaughlin.
Megan Sensiba.
Peter Howe.
Rhiannon Starr.
Chad Palmer.
Madeline Oss.
Cameron Forster.
Olivia Deutschman.
Mason Tobia.
Ben Burko.
Edris Gardisi.
Christopher Diego Lopez.
Reed Ito.
Jesse Quiroz Rodriguez.
Laura Sega.
Justin Jocko Owens.
Nikki Gann.
Paul Borges.
Cash London.
Matthew Thomas Bohr.
Oliver Wang.
Ivana Medina.
Kobe Snyder.
Jamie Lee Bowker.
Blake Espinoza.
Rebecca Emily Hyde.
Gary Chan.
Hannah Phelps.
Leon Ewan.
Alexa Friedman.
Mickey Hongo.
Emily Joachim.
Jessica Lee.
Kenny Campbell.
Bradley Ting.
Sean Connor Levy.
Oleg Helms.
Skylar Ulep.
Sebastian Ramirez.
Dorian Romero.
Thomas Soto.
Matthew Desmond Bowers.
Madeline Hahn.
Megan Dunlop.
Adam War.
Sonal Mekwan.
Renee Lynn Michelson.
Megan Lynch.
Jenna Catherine Butler.
Elizabeth Grace Lupo.
Cameron Nazi.
Anaisa Rodriguez.
Connor Reed Sprague.
Aaron Kaiser.
Bradley Eric Cruz.
Carrie Richardson.
Chase Kenyon.
Catherine Gongai.
Allison Denton.
Scout Scheibel.
Dylan Brodsky.
Andrew Totaro.
Tessa Flack.
Nicole Libby.
Bailey Ellis.
Ashley Therian.
Danielle Nicole Granard.
Tyler Amick.
Kayla DeGroot.
Jasper Van Krollingen.
Rachel Berman.
Connor Hennessy Nyland.
Joshua Zebly.
Nicole Pedersen.
Jacob Palmy.
Nick Bertram.
Michael Bensall.
Meg E. Coletti.
Montasir Fuzi.
Natalie Higgins.
David Espinola.
Martha Laura Salinas.
Jasper Aber.
Haley Cadero.
Jesse Hines.
Stephanie McKeon.
Aiden Hartnett.
Kendall Michael Elliott.
Jake McAndrew Wright.
Benjamin Glenn Fletcher.
Jordan Wu.
Claire Melissa Propes.
Michael Matheson.
Gabriela Baratolo.
Sam Sorensen.
Alexandra Lafreniere.
Kaylee Sanchez.
Amy Bickelmeyer.
Ian Melton.
Samantha Fukar.
Claire Adams.
Ali Ituraldi.
Nicholas Wesley.
Graham Peralta.
Wong Wen.
Justin Hughes.
Simon Sahlstrom.
Kristen Tron.
Rose Wang.
Hong Dam.
Michelle Wynn.
Brenna Scott.
Will Johnston.
Vale D'Angelo.
Will Becker.
Jared Orlando Noche.
Tyler Engel.
Christopher Ramirez.
Carter Jones.
Michelle Elizabeth Sandler.
Nick Scordelis.
Mitchell Kyle Kirk.
Logan Hall.
Caitlin Tenley.
Jason Price.
Nina Heinz.
Bailey Hungerford.
Priscilla Chun.
Iris Chan.
Jason Silva.
Kelly Sue.
Tebow Smolders.
Peter Long.
Dylan Landon.
Renee Chan.
Emily Ann Tebow.
Jemin Chakalikol.
Emily Marquez.
Edgardo Soto Vasquez.
Marisa Anderson.
Carissa Kaylee Roberts.
Samantha Jewel Adamson.
Narain Miriam Shallow.
Vanisha Pamnani.
Jameson Edwards.
Cassandra Smith.
Jack Boyce.
Gabriella Shai.
Raul Guzman.
Marcos Ramirez.
John Arthur Siegel.
McKenna Johnson.
Wyatt Copeland.
Emily Elizabeth Skates.
Tyler Daniel Toft.
Tomiko Lynn Cavey.
Jacob Tyler Muller.
Courtney Ziegler.
Kai Wade Bedell.
Danielle Absey Taylor.
Kyle Austin.
Catherine Elizabeth Gross.
Cheyenne Basheri.
Nathaniel Klein Sasser.
Alexandra Marie Garcia.
Christina Marie Carroll.
Shay Lee Langley.
Matthew Medlin.
John Hahn.
Sarah Elizabeth Morningred.
Colton Earl Schilling.
Riley Rhodes.
Joe Applegate.
Monica Medder.
Grant Beadle.
Hannah Ehrlich.
Mimi Holmes.
Olivia Witt.
Melissa Zarate Ubario.
Katie Mansager.
Andrew Thayer.
Colleen Therese Mayone.
Eric Cambestad.
Lena Rain Binley.
Adam Pasco.
Lauren Michelle Stoser.
Cole Carter Simpson.
Alexandra Grace Malloy.
Chad Anderson.
Kathleen Preston.
Uriel Lopez.
Brian O'Mara.
Cynthia Rodriguez.
Leah Gilchrist.
Madison Griffin.
Ali Cunningham.
Annika Peterson.
Ryan Sweeney.
Aaron Haupt.
Serena Thadani.
Nicholas Buntavas.
Kira Ann Lane.
Zachary Fry.
Bailey Roach.
Kyle Mascaret.
Erica Luca.
Dale Ryan Pedersen.
Gabriela Hinza.
Jake Sa.
Amanda Jean Citronbaum.
Monique Ratto.
Claire Renee Reedy.
Trevor Randall John.
Matheson Young.
Joshua Mishler.
Aaron Grusso.
Graydon Smith.
Chase Amber Snyder.
Mitchell J. Martin.
Jesse Joseph Vallejo.
Kyle Daniels.
Michael Gerard Frank.
Grant Dinkle.
Allison Renee Martinez.
Nicholas Engelhart.
Shireen Dina Berukim.
James William Castles.
Joseph Alexander Halloran.
Kate Ryant.
Daniel Harrison Cardiff.
Tyler Sams.
Marley Thuma.
Haley Pavoni.
Brian Robbins.
Rachel Lennon.
Eric Robinson.
Abigail Kathleen Bacharach.
Oliver Levitch.
Leland John Francis Speth.
Katrine Padilla.
Theron Joseph Hereford.
Jacqueline Ruby Boyd.
Logan Hunter.
Susanna Cole.
Edward Walter McLaughlin.
Elena Pelfini.
John Leo Schmidt.
Meg Stark.
Thatcher Leland Samet.
Mandy Geller.
Javier Torres.
Alexandra Heston.
Danielle Aiello.
Kyle Carlson.
Allie Hanley.
Hannah Stoll.
Lindsay Holman.
Jordan Hanna.
Jessica Baylor Gillespie.
Isabel Sullivan.
Grant Baylor Byers.
Alexis De La Fuente.
Luke Brown.
Olivia Grace Montillon.
Greg Hadley.
Emily Liebman.
Justin Balutian.
Asia Rebelo Todd.
Andrew Votter.
Alexis Lewis.
Dylan Heyer.
Sonia Schwab.
Montana Sanis.
Jessica Sterling.
Allie Norland.
Chelsea Thorpe.
Gregory Moore.
Haley Rich.
Carolyn By.
Karen Hernandez.
Madison Fleming.
Amanda Lundquist.
Matthew Devine.
Megan Jean Clark.
John McAllister.
Cash Costengo.
Riley Fleury.
Kathleen Peterson.
Amarina Garcia.
Rebecca May Gates.
Sarah Monday.
Nicholas Mazeg.
Raquel Houlihan.
Kathleen Sones.
Katie Seegers.
Alice Neary.
Laura Catherine Callahan.
Sierra Newell.
Megan Andrea Sang.
Rita Alfarisi.
Sean Elise Tan.
Diane Lestrain.
Martin Henderson.
Joseph Philippe Posh.
Leilani Molina.
Jeb Brown.
Sylvia Romero.
Sierra Linnell Levy.
Marissa DeSandro.
Claire Emily Crowther.
Michelle Kessel.
Gabby Solis.
Jessica Grace Quilandrino Palapus.
Isabelle Silvera.
Diana Tien Lee.
Emmy Pinedo.
James Seminaro.
Megan Braun.
Jonathan Jacob Rabone.
Matthew Ike.
Grant Baku.
Zach Spanier.
Dusty Ginger Harold.
Andrew Fulton.
Ashley Cope.
Daniel Kammerer.
Julia Diane Vasquez.
Yubi Kim.
Michael Jagir.
Calais Ann Lecoq.
Garrett Silbar.
Elena Aker.
Andrew Garcia.
Aaron Champ.
Mitchell Walker.
Leanne Lynn Hilias.
Stacy Nicole Lowe.
Antonio Flamenco Reyes Delgado.
Abby Brzezinski.
Rose Shrewsbury.
Paige Madeline Welsh.
John Dutch.
Megan Burke.
Ryan Snow.
Karina Baldacchino.
Michael Patterson.
Alexis Anderson.
Derek Deemer.
Skylar Crumley.
Zachary Dakowicz.
Olivia and Shikora.
Richard Shea Jr.
Caitlin Donegan.
Justin Renteria.
Linnea Melby.
Lauren Miller.
Mickey Healy.
Amanda Marie Shrewsbury.
Bree Bolelli.
Analia Cabello.
Jennifer Priest.
Carissa Price.
Cassidy Quilling.
Jeanette Chow.
Rachel King.
Charles Dunlap.
Cassidy Alford.
Nathan Dagley.
Haley Nicole Stiegel.
Sonia Maria Astimbai.
Daniela Cherney.
Allison Nishimi.
Gabrielle Lasker.
Corinne Cross.
Austin Jones.
Natasha Nguyen.
Mitchell Proventure.
Andrea Tucker.
Robert Kirk.
Antu Liu.
Kevin Perry.
Alana Primes.
Ryan Wagner.
Thomas Steckinger.
Kieran Scandrett.
Carter Broad.
Joseph Henry.
Lauren Goldenberg.
Riley Blickenstaff.
Lauren Marie Hinckley.
Aaron Cross.
Blake Anthony Silva.
James Connor Holloman.
Kelsey Dunkelman.
Ricky Cardosa.
Mariah Lynn Okuna.
Jared Jacob Park Nunez.
Kelly Collar.
Margaret Catherine Foss.
Joanne Mendoza.
Caden Micah Johnson Green.
Erin Herndon.
Kelsey Zer.
Kiana Kraft.
Daria Charkashina.
Kelly Chu.
Colby James Barrick.
Abby Lynn Keenley.
Alex Reyes.
Abigail Rose Attig.
Jack Judge.
Jesse Carolyn Pfeiffer.
Dallin Barboa.
Rachel Christine Carlson.
Natalie Van Thine.
Andrew Gale.
Carrie Reinbolt.
Noah Zand.
Wyatt Lemons.
Ryan Hudson.
Dana Kavanagh Lynn Hazarat.
Cassidy Ha.
Dana Mason.
Grace M. Chang.
Dana Michelle Carney.
Jacqueline Lam Quach.
Michaela Marie Gar.
Jacqueline Hannah Nguyen.
Jenny Pham.
Takudo Doshiro.
Julianne Mersing.
Kelly Nicole Eaton.
Kristen Stewart.
Caitlin Julia Mulcahy.
Michaela Jurger.
Monique Geisen.
Gabriella Vakili.
Madison Strauss.
Kylene Freeberg.
Zoe Anderson.
Kayla Marie Bailey.
Madeline Gilio.
Caroline Pickering.
Audrey Garrity.
Jordan Jackson.
Alexander Michael Depew.
Leo Shaw.
Ahmad Hamade.
Nicole Lynn Fozzie.
Natalie DeGolia.
Kelly Victoria Wong.
Caroline Craig.
Sierra Kelly Smith.
Kelsey McGinnis.
Julia Zarella.
Alex Kulpaeva.
Megan Miller.
Sabrina Bizarre.
Chris Polito.
Zoe Bianca Rosario.
Karina Lopez.
Kay Rego.
Catherine Wynn.
Tiffany Tron.
Wendy Wen.
Chase Johns.
Claire Lawrence.
Candace Kelchner.
Alex Cantor.
Megan Carragher.
Claire Rita Aldridge.
Alejandra Pia Garcia.
Natalie Rose Jones.
Gabriela Keolani Pajo.
Emily Castell.
Karen Haynes.
Brenna Nicole Jensen.
Simano Fasua.
Juliana Elise Miqueg.
Brandon Rueda.
Chanel Strickland.
Layla Cater.
Jack Morton.
Emily Sifke.
John Lefferdink.
Hala Camus.
Andrew Castle.
Rachel Agarpo.
Hayden Salvas.
Leah Q.
Ryan Johnson.
Ashley Jenna Leckerkirk.
Ryan McGee.
Emily Manos.
Pete Leo Schaefer.
Danielle Albertoni.
Lauren Suarez.
Emily August Brandt.
Rachel Suarez.
Alex Spaghetti.
Celine Toprak.
Justine D.
Sophia Hannah Chang.
Cassidy Phelps.
Bella Beckman.
Cameron James Coyne.
Nathaniel LeBlanc Niffen.
Sven Ingval.
Sonia Bengali.
Annalisa Balistreri.
Charles Curtis.
Chelsea Rebecca May.
Ramin Nazari.
Kylie Ruth Whitaker.
Reed Gratch.
Evan Mackay Mortar.
Connor Jordan.
Chuck Ryder.
Emma Anderson.
Sebastian Flores.
Megan Rose Matthews.
John Corbalotti.
Heidi Catherine Ziegler.
Armand Escobar.
Chase Golnick.
Sarah Ann Blackie.
Landon Enns.
Kelsey Madison Jones.
Sarah Taylor Madden.
Carolyn Nicole Breton Sutherland.
Scotty Nichols.
Ariana Barrera.
Connor Smalls.
Amy Aspetia.
Lauren Ibsen.
Reina Venkatesh.
DJ Peluso.
Elizabeth Grove.
Gabriella Gruppalo.
Josh DiPiazza.
Lauren J. Bradley.
James Edward Smith V.
Sarah Chen.
Molly Gibbons.
Ben Polshuk.
Alyssa Kathleen Perkins.
Elijah Skips.
Eden Moalem.
Austin Dondonville.
Nicole Shanley.
Michael Sanderson.
Isabella Shayette.
Brett Binning.
Margaret Barretto.
Taylor Curtis.
Savannah Hobbs.
Casey Wakasa.
Anola Sanders.
Joshua Berman.
Callie Magdaleno.
Sam Oji.
Blake Charles Henson.
Michael Pay.
Sheila Ahi.
Riza Nicole Hernandez Pay.
McKenna Lynn Nell.
Andy Vong.
Kyle David Sewell.
Dean Kim.
Gina Lorraine Randazzo.
AJ Ganhuyag.
Luke Wilson.
Ray Kitagawa.
Lauren Adams.
Christopher McCullough.
Lauren Taylor.
Nikki Collinborn.
Claire Catherine Leslie.
Donna Mozeni.
Allison Evans.
Katarina Ermelin.
Elizabeth Noel Merrihew.
Eric Kido.
Allison Browning.
Jonah Saraceno.
Gabriella Trapani.
Frank Rockwell.
Megan Christine Healy.
Ryan Chan.
Patrick Mead.
Jack Primo.
Ariel Ingelina Gallagher.
Colin Dion.
Cole Elliott.
Andrew Chris Jansen.
Scott Joseph Heroza.
Madi Yapi.
Olivia Shaolian Bess Hamilton.
Matthew McNabb.
Caitlin Cook.
Hannah Hubbard.
Shelby Dewberry.
Jared Mohammed.
Angelo Rios.
Jack Ferguson.
Brittany Seeley.
Joseph Kupperman.
Danielle Alyssa Huligunga.
Colin Goebel.
Jillian Hope Scognamello.
Alvin Chang.
Clarissa Christine Johnson.
Jacqueline Brown.
Ashley Jean Chavez Ochoa.
Lauren Nicole Bingham.
Melanie Lynette Esparza Alvarado.
Max Lee.
Amy Eileen Hood.
Sheila Clapp.
Caitlin Davis.
Julia Michelle Glick.
Angela Sanchez.
Nathan Thomas.
Alexa Easley.
Samantha Spellman.
Abby Kavanaugh.
Kendall Sieber.
Alexandra Gray.
Atai Chives Fish.
Kira Ray Evers.
Max Reinhardt.
Miriam Quasto.
Preston Quick.
Nina Doring.
Kyle Gray Tompkins.
Morgan Munitz.
Sonny James Fionn.
Carmina Pulliam.
Logan Borsma. Trevor Carlisle.
Olivia Beatrice Grobe-Lipkis.
Jack Miko.
Haley Baker.
Brett Donahue.
Lucille McNeil.
Nolan Donahue.
Monique Chan.
Devin McPherson.
Witang Go.
Paulina Konstantinovna Orikova.
Frank Ramos Hernandez.
Karina De La Rosa Sanding.
Matthew Hamilton.
Emily Reha.
Benjamin Olson Schultz.
Jessica Edwards.
Julian Reed Treviso. Kevin Schindler. Marlene McCain. Sammy Azad.
Let's hear it one more time for the class of 2018. We are Cal Poly proud of you. We are so proud of what you've accomplished. The platform party is now going to exit the stage. We wish you, we ask that you remain in your places, graduates, while the platform party is exiting. We wish you a fantastic and safe celebration. Congratulations.
Hello everyone, it's Sylvia again. Thank you for attending Cal Poly's commencement ceremony.